Some mornings feel different, even if nothing seems out of place. The sky is clear, the house is quiet, and your body moves like it always has. But deep inside, you notice something that wasn't there before, or rather, something that's now missing. A quiet space down there, where you used to feel a certain rhythm. A quiet signal that meant you were still fully alive. You haven't been in pain. You're not sick. But the absence of that small signal has a way of getting under your skin. You start to wonder, is this just aging? Or is your body asking for something it's not getting anymore? In my 30 years working with older men, I've seen this pattern far too often. And here's what the science now shows. According to Tufts University, the issue isn't always testosterone. It's poor circulation in the lower body, where blood needs to move freely but often can't. That's why I want to show you one simple food, found in nearly every grocery store, that could quietly restore what age has tried to silence. If this resonates, comment yes or hit subscribe, because a new chapter might start right at your breakfast table. Most men believe what's happening is just a natural part of getting older. You feel slower, less connected, and gradually start accepting the change as permanent. But here's what I've learned after 3 decades of listening to men who kept this quiet for far too long. Your body doesn't suddenly forget how to function. It simply stops getting the signals it needs to respond. One of the most important of those signals is blood flow. When you were younger, blood rushed where it needed to go smoothly, quickly, and without resistance. But as you age, your blood vessels begin to stiffen, your nitric oxide levels drop, and circulation becomes sluggish, especially in the tiny arteries down there, where blood must arrive fast and full for your body to react the way it used to. A study from Tufts University found that men over 60 may lose up to 70% of their nitric oxide production. That means even if your heart is pumping and your testosterone is still present, the delivery system is failing. Blood doesn't reach the lower pelvis the way it once did. And without blood, nothing else can happen, not energy, not strength, not confidence. It's easy to blame age, to call it just part of life. But I've seen something remarkable in my practice. When we restore blood flow, everything begins to shift, even without pills or hormones. What most men think is lost forever is often just paused, waiting for the right support to return. And in many cases, it doesn't take complicated treatments. It starts with understanding your body again and feeding it what it needs. So if you've noticed the quiet, the slowing, or the change down there, don't assume the best years are behind you. You're not out of rhythm. You've just drifted from the signal. And the good news is, that signal can come back. In the next section, I'll introduce a small, surprising food that speaks directly to your circulatory system and helps bring life back to where you want it most. When I first discovered the effect of beetroot on circulation, I'll admit I was skeptical, not because I doubted the science, but because it just seemed too simple. Could something so humble, so ordinary, really make a difference in places that mattered most to men? Then I met Robert, a 68-year-old former truck mechanic who came into my office frustrated and tired. He told me he hadn't felt like himself in months, not sick, not weak, just disconnected from his body. We started slow. I asked him to try adding a small glass of beet juice to his morning routine. Nothing else. After 2 weeks, he called and said, "Doc, I don't know how this is possible, but something's coming back." You see, beetroot is one of the richest natural sources of dietary nitrate. When you consume it, your body converts those nitrates into nitric oxide, a gas that tells your arteries to relax and open up. That signal is what allows blood to move freely, reaching your brain, your heart, and yes, down there, where many men begin to feel time slowing things down, unlike pills or supplements that force change. Beetroot works with your body, not against it. It helps restore the natural flow of blood by supporting what your system was already designed to do. As circulation improves, energy returns. Sensitivity often increases. Even your sleep gets deeper because your heart no longer has to work overtime. But the effect goes beyond just how you feel. When blood finally returns to the right places, so does confidence. You stand taller. You speak differently. That quiet knowing returns the one that says, "I'm still here." And here's the beauty: beetroot doesn't just work in theory, it works in real bodies, with real struggles. Every man I've worked with who committed to a consistent morning beet routine felt some shift. For some, it was subtle, a little more warmth in the hands, a clearer mind. For others, it was obvious: better mornings, stronger signals, deeper connection with their partner. So, if you've been looking for something safe, natural, and time-tested, this simple route may be the missing link. It's not flashy. It doesn't promise miracles, but it gives your body the one thing it's been asking for: support, to let the blood flow freely again. And often, that's all it takes to bring you back to the man you remember. Like most good things in life, beetroot works best when used the right way. It's not just what you take. It's when and how you take it that makes all the difference. After working with hundreds of men, I've found one pattern again and again. The men who saw the most change didn't just add beetroot, they made it part of their morning rhythm. Here's why that matters. In the early hours of the day, your body is in its most responsive state. Blood pressure is slightly higher. Hormone levels like testosterone and DHEA are naturally elevated. And your metabolism is open to receiving nutrients. When you take beetroot first thing in the morning before eating anything else, you give your circulatory system the best chance to respond. Most men find it easiest to blend one small beet into a smoothie or drink half a glass of fresh beet juice, if fresh beets are hard to find. A high-quality beetroot powder in warm water can work just as well. The key is consistency. It's better to take a small amount every morning than to take a large dose once in a while. One small but important tip: avoid brushing your teeth right before or right after drinking beet juice. That might sound strange, but it's rooted in real science. There are good bacteria in your mouth that help start the nitrate conversion process. If you use strong mouthwash or brush too soon, you can wipe out the very helpers your body needs. I've seen men stall their progress simply because they didn't know this one detail. But when they made that adjustment, things started moving again, especially down there, where results tend to show up first. Some men worry that it sounds too difficult, but once they try it, they realize how easy it is to build into their morning. Many even begin to look forward to it. It becomes a signal to their body and their mind that they're choosing health, consistency, and strength. And while beetroot is powerful on its own, there's one more piece to the puzzle that many men miss. What you eat or avoid right after matters just as much, because certain foods can quietly block the benefits you're trying to unlock. In the next part, I'll show you which breakfast mistakes to watch out for and what to eat instead if you want real results. Adding beetroot to your routine is a powerful start, but what you pair it with each morning can make or break your progress. I've had men say, "Doc, I've been drinking beet juice for 2 weeks and I don't feel much." But when we looked deeper, the issue wasn't the beetroot, it was everything they ate afterward. Certain breakfast foods that seem harmless can actually block the very benefits you're trying to unlock. Processed meats like bacon, sausage, and deli ham are among the biggest culprits. They're full of sodium and preservatives that tighten blood vessels and increase inflammation. when your goal is better circulation. Especially down there, these foods quietly work against you. Refined carbs are another problem. Toast made from white bread, sugary cereals, or muffins spike your blood sugar and crash it just as fast. That crash disrupts hormone rhythm and leaves you feeling tired instead of energized. And if you drink strong coffee on an empty stomach, it can raise cortisol, your body's stress hormone, which narrows arteries and dulls arousal signals. This doesn't mean you can never enjoy those foods again. It just means your first meal matters more than you think, especially if you're trying to rebuild circulation in a natural way. I tell my patients the first hour of the day is sacred. Give your body support, not sabotage, instead of processed meat. Try a boiled egg or a handful of walnuts, instead of white toast. Reach for whole grain bread with avocado or natural nut butter. These foods work with beetroot, not against it. They offer fiber, healthy fats, and key nutrients that keep your blood vessels relaxed and your hormones in sync. The difference may not be obvious on day one, but over time, the impact builds. More clarity, better sleep, stronger signals in the places that matter. So before you reach for that bacon or donut, pause and ask yourself, is this helping the process or holding it back? There's a reason I always suggest taking beetroot in the morning, not afternoon, not evening, but first thing after waking. It's not just about convenience. It's about giving your body the best biological window to restore what age has dimmed. Your body follows a natural rhythm, and morning is when all the right switches are turned on. Right after waking, your testosterone levels are at their daily peak. Your blood vessels are more responsive. Your cortisol is naturally elevated just enough to boost circulation, not shut it down. If you give your body the right nutrients during this time, the impact can be surprisingly strong. It's like handing the engine the key at the exact moment it's ready to start. That's why beetroot works best when taken on an empty stomach, early in the day. It helps the nitrate conversion begin faster, builds momentum for blood flow, and supports a steady rise in energy through the morning. And when blood flows better in the morning, you may start noticing that the signals down there slowly begin to return without effort, without pushing, beyond the biology. There's a psychological shift that happens too. A man who starts his morning with purpose, who makes space for his health before the day takes over, feels more in control. It's not just about a drink or a walk. It's about the message he sends to his body every morning: I'm still here. I still care. I've worked with retired teachers, military veterans, and quiet grandfathers who once thought they were past their prime. But when they committed to a morning routine, even something as simple as beet juice and a few deep breaths, they began to feel grounded again, sharper, calmer, more connected. So if you've been skipping breakfast or rushing through your mornings, this is your sign to pause, to slow down, to rebuild. The first hour after you wake is more than just a routine, it's an invitation. And what you do in that window can ripple through your entire day, especially down there. Most men want to know the same thing. How long will it take before I feel something real? That's a fair question. You've gone months, maybe even years, feeling like your body is quieter, slower, and a little more distant. So the idea that one small habit could bring change feels hopeful but also hard to believe. Let me walk you through what I've seen in real men, day by day, week by week, in the first few days. The changes are subtle, a little more color in your face, a bit less heaviness in your legs. You may wake up with more clarity or notice that your afternoon crash is not as strong. These are small signs that your circulatory system is waking up, and it matters. By day 5 or 6, your body begins to build momentum. Nitric oxide levels start climbing. Your blood vessels become more responsive. Some men report feeling warmth down there, or a new lightness when they stand or stretch. Others notice they fall asleep faster or feel more alert during the day. By the second week, confidence starts to return. One man told me, "Doc, I feel like I'm back in sync." The signals that once felt silent begin to hum again. And it's not just physical, it's emotional. You start to feel connected to your body, instead of feeling like a stranger inside it. By day 21, many men report more consistent signals: deeper sleep, better digestion, and steadier mood. You walk differently, you speak differently. There's a quiet sense of, "I've got this," that begins to show up in everyday moments. And by day 30, something shifts. The new habit becomes familiar. Your body doesn't just react, it begins to expect support each morning. And it rewards you with strength, clarity, and response. That's when I know the routine is working not just as a fix, but as a foundation. So if you're wondering when it will happen, the answer is bit by bit, day by day, especially down there. And it all begins with one small decision to show up for yourself each morning, with consistency. You've made it this far, and that tells me something. You're not just curious. You care. You've listened, learned, and maybe for the first time in a long while, you're thinking differently about your health, about what's happening down there, about what's still possible, even now. And now, the next step is yours. It's not complicated. It doesn't take hours. It's one glass of beet juice, one choice at breakfast, one moment in the mirror where you say, "I'm showing up for me today." That's where things begin. Because when you make that choice consistently, gently, without pressure, you give your body permission to respond. Not overnight, not with fireworks, but slowly, quietly, in ways that build strength where it matters. Energy, warmth, presence. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s take this step and never look back. And it all began with a morning routine so simple, it almost didn't seem real. But it is real, and it works if you let it. So here's what I'd love you to do next. If this video gave you something to think about, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a tip designed for your stage of life. Type, "I'm starting" in the comments if you're ready to give your mornings a purpose again. Or share this video with a brother, a friend, or someone who needs to hear that it's not too late. Because trust me, you're not done. You're just getting started.